Hi guys, it's Karen and a very naked bow, and we're going to do a body review of the Iplehouse KID girl body. She's a very juvenile sculpt and she's very beautifully done. If you just want to have a look at her actual little body, she has pretty much no bust. There's a very slightest little hint of a bust there. She's got this very slight hint of ribs here. And this beautiful flat little tummy with that gorgeous little line here, gorgeous little belly button. You can just sort of make out the little outline of her ribs. And gorgeously sculpted little shoulder blades on her back there. She's got the little butt indents and a really cute little curvy butt, but it's not too big, it's just a little. It's got a bit of shape to it. She has a gorgeous little clavicle going on here and collarbone, and she's just very beautifully sculpted. Okay, her face is the Lonnie. With the B face up, and she's in the peach gold resin, which is as beautiful in real life as it is in photographs, so do not hesitate on the peach gold resin, it really is stunning. She does not have any ugly nose from side on. You can see she's just as cute and button nose from side on. She has this little sort of under pout there. Her ear, that could be better, I suppose, but they're basically always under her wig anyway, and you know, they're okay. But this gorgeous little chin, gorgeous little nose, really pretty face sculpt. Hands, I know a lot of people really like hands. Now, I'm actually missing a little piece in here. I've put away for safekeeping because it just keeps popping out because I think it got a little bit deformed and now it doesn't want to stay in there. But that's what a lot of dolls just look like. They have that joint there is visible. And what Iplehouse does is they put in this lovely little piece in here, and that just serves the purpose of covering up that joint and making it look a lot better. I mean, every time I catch sight of this little gaping hole in a video, it really annoys me, and I try to sort of angle her so it's not visible. But the actual hands themselves are very cute. I'll just get you so you can see them. They're a really soft, sweet little shape that is very versatile and sort of can look like she's touching her face or pushing her hair back. She can be waving like that, it's kind of a wave. And just sort of at the side, just sitting there like that, they look really cute too. I also really love the sculpting on the knees. There's a very soft but beautiful shape there. Really nice. And the feet, well, these could be better, to be honest. I'm not totally in love with the toes. The ankle is very slightly sculpted. There are a few seams. This one here, on the side here, is very minor. This one is much more significant, so that's a slightly annoying seam for me. Yeah, this one they've actually tried to sand and they've sort of succeeded, although it's visible. But that one, it just doesn't even appear that they've tried at all. So, really not that happy with that seam. The side seams, they're pretty nasty as well, particularly this one. But this never bothers me because I'm never really looking at her from that side. And on the legs, it's all on the back of the leg. This one is quite good. I'm happy with that. But this one is pretty nasty. But yeah, I mean, the back of her knees are hideous anyway. And you can see up here as well, this is quite good. That's not too bad, and then that's really nasty right there. That is not just the way the light is hitting it. This is much softer even to the touch, and this I can feel strong ridge there. Sorry for the total indecency of her bottom there. Okay, so she is very loosely strung. I've had her for about a year. I've never restrung her, and I have heard that Iplehouse dolls come loosely strung quite often and need restringing. So that really affects her posability, but it doesn't really affect what her posing is meant to achieve. So firstly, she is double jointed. The joint is fairly ugly, but I will say that it doesn't, I think I've got the arm backwards, but I will say it does not bother me. There we go. So if you're gonna look at it like that, it's reasonably ugly. From the back like this, that's quite okay. I'm pretty happy with that. For a single, before you use the double joint, if you're just using the single joint, it only goes as far as that. It doesn't want to go further. Or using the peanut joint when it pops out, it goes a lot further. So that's the ugliness of the joint there. That's a bit better. Okay, but it does still sort of come out beyond, and this is the really ugly bit here though, this ridgy bit. So you're going to want to just sort of ignore that. If you're a real perfectionist, wear them in sleeves or just frame it out. Do something like that for photographs. I just don't let it worry me. I don't like it at all, but it does help the posing. So I find it really hard to not get it to do that actually. That's what it sort of wants to do, so that's like a little bit better. But if you go there, you're getting better range of motion. She can touch her face really beautifully. I love, you know, having her sort of touch her mouth or whatever. You can see, gosh, how hideous this is compared to this. It'd be lovely if they had included them for here. So her arms are great. You know, they really move really, really well. There's nothing I've really wanted to do with her arms that I couldn't do. I don't know how well I'm going to sort of be able to cross them and whatever, but would be a lot better at standing if she was restrung. But she will still stand even though she's loosely strung, so I think that's actually fairly impressive. So I'm actually popping that joint out, sort of place to get it to do the arms crossing. And there's nothing wrong with posing a doll by popping it right off the joint, like doing this. There's nothing wrong with posing it like that, especially if you're not going to photograph this part. The head, I find, doesn't look up much, but I think that's sort of standard, that dolls don't really look up too well. I mean, really, I'm sort of complaining over nothing. She's looking up quite nicely there, really. I do have the thigh mobility joint, which I just think it's worth paying a little bit extra to get, because you never really know when it's going to annoy you that you don't have it. Inside here, there's all these little grooves, and there's this little bump, and that's designed so that can lock in there and hold the poses. So that if I lift her leg up like this, I should be able to lock it in and it should stay. That's only doing that because it's got her butt, but that does work to do that. It doesn't really want to do it, and I do believe, we'll do that one, that is because she's too loosely strung. But what that means is that not only should you be able to get her into the pose, but she should be able to hold the pose, and that's one thing. A lot of dolls, you know, you can move the arm out to the side like this, but they don't want to actually just stay there like that. It's funny because the stringing in her arms seems fine, nice and tight in her arms, but her legs are really sort of floppy. Anyway, so I find that she sits really well. I'm not sure how we'll see her there. Her knees are double jointed, so it sort of annoys me that she can't like touch the ground when I put her in this pose, her hands. But if you recline her back a little bit, put the hands back there. The chest joints just come off a little bit. I'll do the torso joint in a second. She can sort of recline all cute, you know. She can cross her legs quite easily, especially if you don't mind the foot. Oh, oops, you can't really see. There you go. If you don't mind the foot coming off the thing a bit, but also with the use of the thigh joints, sort of helps to rotate her. She can do a cross-legged pose. I think it's easier for her to sit if I don't double the knees over. This is how you sort of want it to be. That's pretty close to it. She'll also sit though like this, which is very, very cute. And you can use the torso joint to make that look a little bit more realistic as well. I mean, that's cute. Yeah, the torso joint's great as well. So, this will pop to the side as I was showing you. And that can be just sort of cute for all kinds of things, for sitting, for stretching, for, you know, whatever. The back has these little grooves here, and those help you keep the pose. So it's one thing that maybe the doll goes into the pose, but it can be another thing to keep it there. So you can sit her forward, and that's going to be slouching her forward like that. That's going to be most useful when you're sitting her, and you want her to sit forward. You can look her back up again. So that would be her slouching forward to sit. She doesn't have an actual groove on the front, but she can pop her chest backward like this. And this is most useful if you want to do this kind of pose. And maybe turn the head up into the side a bit. And now I'll just take you down so you can see that cute little pose. That's the whole point really behind being able to pop the shoulder back. Really got a great body. I'm really happy with it. The head cap has a little Iplehouse sticker there. And inside is your S-hook and your eye putty and all that stuff. And it just pops on with magnets very easily, but it does come off easily. That's not normally an issue though if your doll's wearing a wig. Okay, so if you have any other questions, feel free to post them. I think she's very poseable, so I'm pretty happy with her. Not too worried about it. So, that's about it for this video. I think she's very, very cute, even all naked and without any hair. Yay! Alright, I hope you enjoyed this review. And that's bye-bye, and see you next time from Karen and Little Naked Beau.